What's up, guys? Welcome back. On the day after, it's a good feeling. Like we finally won. It's it's not over. It's far from over. It's 2 wins out of 9, 10. I'm actually confused. 10, I think, right? So it's still not fantastic, but it gives you a good couple of days of basically rest. That's what it is because we won, and there were some positives or negatives, but the most important thing is that we won. Maybe the negative thing is it's not in the league, and for me that's still the most important thing right now if you want to think long term for this future. But we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about did we turn the corner now? We're gonna talk about I think Allegri's best presser in 3 years. It was actually amazing, and at one point I actually laughed. I actually laughed because I think at this point he's just trolling us, and he knows it because yeah, it was something else. So we're gonna talk about that. Before we get into it, like the video, subscribe to the channel as always, hit that bell notification, and let's jump straight into the video. Okay, so did we turn a corner? The players came out. Vlahovic said, "I want to thank Allegri because he prepared the game very, very well." And what I'm gonna tell you in a sec, what Allegri had to say, that just I was like, the players big you up, and then you come out saying a certain thing, and I'm like, yeah, but he came out, he said that this is basically the way to go. If you want to get out of this slump, basically, this is the first step. Nothing actually did happen. We won a game, and that's it. The league is what needs to be turned around, he said. And Chiesa echoed that. Chiesa said the league is what it is, and that's what we need to turn around. Interesting as well. Chiesa said, after the Empoli draw and Inter, we collapsed because the dream kind of exploded. And I'm like, how? Because it was still 4 or 5 points, or was it 4 points from Inter? Like how can that collapse? Like that? That's insane. And it's a big, big worry. And that goes to coaching and players' mindset, all of them. But it is the big worry because 2 games, like 1 point out of 6, cannot make you collapse completely. It's bad. The timing was bad, but like still, it cannot happen. But it did happen, and he admittedly said so. And he said, "This is good, but we need to move on." Because 1 game, 1 win against Lazio is not enough. That's what he said. And the title is, did we cut the corner now? No, we didn't. Because, like I said in the preview as well, the Coppa Italia has a different feeling. There's less pressure. Because if you lose that game, if we lost that game, you still have a game 20 days from now to turn it around. We don't have games. Like if you lose against Fiorentina, the other team is catching up. The teams behind you are catching up. So we don't have room to lose games anymore in the league. Like none at all. That's the difference. If you lose against Fiorentina, it's not that you are playing Fiorentina again to make up those points. Like it doesn't work like that in the league. So that's the most important thing. And this game was less pressure, in my opinion. There was less pressure because of there's still another tie on Sunday. It's gonna be much, much different. And the quote he said about collapsing after Empoli is very worrying. If I think ahead on Sunday um, already. Now, what Allegri had to say was hilarious. I actually think I actually laughed. I was listening to it, and I laughed out loud because it was top notch. He came out, and the journalist asked like, "Man, what happened?" Because the first half was iffy. He didn't really were in trouble, but like it was the same issues over and over again. And he said, "What do you say in the locker room?" And he said, "I told the guys just to run straight to goal because if we will do so, we will find the solution." He said, "Football is easy. I've always said so." And I actually started laughing because I was like, "That that's that's not how it works. I'm sorry. Like if that was how it works, we would be top of the league. Just run towards like it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work." Now the goals we played were good. That's how you play football. Now, I know the spacing was big for Chiesa, but still, like you train certain patterns of play. You come inside, you overlap, you pull your defender with you. That means the ball comes. Like there are certain, and I'm not saying plan everything in the most insane details, but like very basic things. The second goal as well, quick flick from McKennie, I think. Lazio player gone. Vlahovic does his thing. Like, the heal this one. Like, there are certain things you still need to hammer in this team. Like, you could just not go towards goal, run at a goal, and be like, it's gonna happen. At one point we will find a solution, because that was not happening the last 9 games. We didn't find solutions when we run towards goals. Maybe the Napoli game, but other than that, we ran towards goal and nothing came from it basically. So you cannot really say that. You cannot say that, because that's not that was not coaching. And Vlahovic said he prepared the game very well, and then he says that, and I'm like, someone is lying, and it's probably Allegri because he's trolling. But we play like that. We play like, I just run, and we will find a way to break you down. We will find a way to break that game open. We rely heavily on individual brilliance. Now, it was individual brilliance from Cambiaso and Vlahovic, but still, the build-up was good. It wasn't taking on 3-4 players and top bins. It wasn't like that. So that is okay. But we heavily rely on set pieces and individual brilliance too much. And I think he's trolling to a certain extent, because to a certain extent, I think he believes it. Just run and you will find a way to score goals. Now, that's not always the same. However, what was important in the game, and I'll say something else big on Allegri, what he had to say. What was important in that game was the togetherness. I've said it. Forget about tactics and all those things and players. Although I want to see Yildiz play, I think it's criminal that he's getting benched so much. When he came off a period where he was playing so many games, and now he's getting quote unquote garbage time minutes. If you see him play, if you watch him play, you're like, how is he on the bench? However, the togetherness, the willingness to actually fight. Certain players were not good, like Rabiot had a poor game, but like Vlahovic, he tracked back, if you remember, one time to recover a ball, and that was what was missing. And that's what we need right now, because there's no time to drill patterns of play and all those things into the team. It's done. This is it. Now the mindset needs to come. Now what Chiesa said, we collapse after the game. You need to flip it. You need to get together and just get games over the line. No matter who you play, you find a way to get games over the line together. That's the only way you're going to beat Fiorentina as well, because Fiorentina are better than Lazio. I know the league table is what it is, but they play much better than Lazio, but they also leave a lot of space. But we will talk about that later on in the week. Now, the big thing Allegri had to say, and I couldn't believe he said that. He said, I actually rewinded it because I was busy and I was listening to it, and I was translating. And I was like, really? And he said, it's a negative moment, and the first one to blame is me. That's what he said. He said, I'm the first one to blame because he's in charge. He didn't really he didn't elaborate it on it. He didn't say this, and this is why it's my fault. And it's the first time he said so. I'm not sure why. Does he feel like it's done? I'm out of here or whatever. Is he trying to save face now? Because it's much easier to do so after you win a game than after you lose games and draw games and you win 1 out of 9. Then it's more difficult to say, hey, this is on me. It's much easier to say so after you win a game. But he said it finally, and it's not all on him. I get that 100%. It's not all on him. The Napoli game, it's not on him. Conceding very late against Lazio, that type of goal to concede is not on him, but the accumulation of the game, the way we play, is on him. The setup, the way we play, like Chiesa and Keane up there dying. The first half, again, it was the same. Vlahovic was good. That was the difference to Keane. Like, the build-up was good. But Chiesa, you ask so much from certain players. It's not fair when there's no link-up play and no real whatever you want to call it. So I get that that's not all on him, but that part is, and you need to own up for it. And like I said, it's much easier to do so after a win, and he did so. So it was a presser of, it was all over the place. Vlahovic bigging him up, and he's saying, yeah, I just said run towards goal, and then taking the blame and whatever. But did we turn the corner? Nobody knows. You can answer that question if we win 6 out of the last 8 games, in the league. Then you're like, yeah, you kind of turned the corner. Like, it's still a very extremely disappointing season, the way it was built up, and the way we took a dive. But on Sunday game, I cannot stress it anymore. It's more important than this one, because this one, you had a second leg on Sunday, you lose. Bologna is probably already on top of you right now. If you like, they play early on. If you lose, Roma is there. Atalanta is there. Like, we need to find it, because Roma play Lazio, and I think they're gonna beat Lazio, because Lazio did well in the first game away to, like, we didn't offer much, but the organization, the pressing was good. Today we find a way to outplay them, and we always do at home against Lazio. We can be as poor as hell at home against Lazio. We will always find a way. But on Sunday, that's the game that really matters, and we need to see the same spirit again, and we need those 3 points, because if we lose on Sunday, like, I think it's done top four. I don't think we're gonna get top four. I don't. I think this team, they win, but they are very capable of losing again on Sunday. They are, like, the proof is out there. The proof is out there because we did it. But you need to win on Sunday. You absolutely need to win on Sunday. You cannot lose. You cannot draw. You need to win on Sunday. But let's see if this game did help for the game on Sunday. But that's it for me. I will be live later today to break down the game with the members. And I hope I see you there. For this one, that's it. Like, subscribe, and see you later. Ciao.